Hello and welcome to From Fertility to Delivery. This is Dayna, and today I wanted to talk and give you a book review on a book that I recently read, and that is Starseeds and the Great Awakening by Sherri Divband. This book was amazing, and it's a wonderful way to introduce what's happening on the planet right now. Not just the Great Awakening, but where we've been, where we're headed, and where we are right now. So the past, present, and the future. Sherri has a unique ability to present this information in a way that is palatable for everyone to read, and in a way that shows where she's come from. At the very beginning of the book, she talks about her childhood, which was very deep and very intriguing, and I don't want to give it away, so you have to get the book to listen and to read it and to really walk in her footsteps at the beginning of her life, to know why she is able to really see beyond the surface of what's happening on this planet and to really dive deep into what we are in right now and what we're moving towards, which is the Great Awakening. Now, the ability to express this is very rare, and Sherri has a very unique ability to express this in a way that is very understandable. So in this video, I want to read some excerpts from the book, some things that jumped out at me that I thought were very telling, and also to share it with you so that you can get the entire book. And this book can be found on Amazon as of right now, and I will hopefully in the future Barnes & Noble. I have to check, but I will put the links in the description below. So the first thing I want to talk about is the souls that are coming to the planet. And that's something that I talk about all the time, spirit babies. But the reason they're coming to the planet and why, where we've been and where we're headed, basically. So on page 127, we talk about a message from Eden of Alpha Centauri. I volunteered to come to this planet in a physical body to help people evolve. For too long, the humans have been suppressed and controlled. It is time for that to stop. And that is what the Great Awakening is. It's a way for every soul on the planet to awaken to what's happening to them on their own. We can't force anyone to awake, even though we want to, but to really understand where, or actually understand. We don't necessarily use the word understand, because that's actually been controlled as well. But to really deeply understand what's going on the planet, and how do we evolve from here, and how are the children involved as well. Now, there's another part in this where it talks about, on page 129, the teachers, the guides, and the leaders will come forward and work in unity with the children, the planet, and all living beings in this earth. It will take time and patience to rebuild. I can assure you that there are many souls stationed all over this world, ready and willing to move forward, to walk into the light, and to truly be free. Allow the children to lead you. And that's important. As you become a parent, if you're already a parent or you're looking to become a parent, and that's one of the reasons why you'd be watching my videos, because that's what I focus on, the beautiful transition from maidenhood or bachelorhood to parenthood, is that your children come into this world and they teach you so much, more than you could have ever thought you would learn. And a lot of that is patience, and a lot of that is a deep inner knowing of how to accept the vibe of children, which is fun, exciting, and also learning how to tap back into your emotions, because that's something that we've come very far away from, how to deal with our emotions. Our emotions have basically been told to be stuffed or silenced. How many times do you see someone say, stop crying, or, man up, or, be a lady? Those are some phrases that we've used in society that have really taken away our emotions. And what we need to do is learn how to deal with our emotions back to how a baby would deal with their emotions, by feeling it instantly in the moment and connecting with it, feeling it, healing it, and then releasing it. So that is something that we've lost, and the children come back to tell us and to show us exactly how to do that. On page 198, I also wanted to touch base on something here that says that humans carry the divine blueprint so powerful it was the reason a lower dimensional plane of existence was created. The motivation behind the movement to alter the vibration and fractalize the souls of humans was to control all facets of life through a constant cycle of fear, famine, war, disease, and illicit forms of mind-altering addictions. So again, this book is the real deal. This goes into the nuts and bolts of what's happening on the planet right now. And it's a lot of things that a lot of people have ignored and put their head in the sand about, and we have to wake up to it because it's so important. And the incoming souls, the starseeds, the spirit babies, the light bodies, whatever you want to call them, they're here to remind us that we have to focus on this stuff, and we have to find a way to really deal with it, process it, know where we've been and where we're headed. And they're here to teach us how to do that. And one of the things I really appreciate about Sherri and her work is that we're both hypnobirthing practitioners. So the pregnancy aspect of and the childbirth aspect of creating a human on this planet is really important. Children and babies, infants, they are imprinted at birth. They're not just imprinted by, and I've done videos about this, so I'll probably put one in the description. The imprintation of babies at birth. It's not just astrology. It's not just the human design. It's not just the date and time and location of their birth. It is the atmosphere in the room. It is the countenance of the mother, whether the mother is calm or highly elevated with stress and anxiety. All of those things affect the moment that the baby is born, and that's imprinted on them, not just on them on a physical level, but spiritual, emotional, all the levels that you can think of. And it carries through with them throughout their entire life until they go back to clear it and cleanse it. So for instance, a baby that was, they use forceps to, during birth to bring the baby out, that baby might have migraines for the rest of their life because of that imprintation of forceps on their head. That's how deep this goes. And that's how we need to start looking at it. We're looking at it from a surface level, and we have to dive deep into the depths of all this information. And Sherri does a wonderful job in this book explaining it. Regarding pregnancy and childbirth, which is definitely my space here at From Fertility to Delivery, on page 224, Sherri goes on to talk about pregnancy and childbirth. As I mentioned in the 3D interface section, pregnancy and childbirth have been sabotaged by the dark players for too long. The plan to cultivate a negative birth experience has been detrimental to generations of women. Ancestral healing is underway to clear the collective trauma so that the divine feminine can shine strong once again. Collectively, we will soon shift the dynamics of birth and pregnancy to empowered, joyful, and positive experiences for parents and their babies. And I agree with that. We have a long way to go. I recently shared some videos about births that went wrong in the hospital and where parents left the hospital without the baby, and that is one of the most devastating things that could ever happen. That's a worst case scenario, but then there's also the best case scenario where we learn from the mistakes that are out there and we learn how to navigate childbirth. Not during childbirth. You don't learn how to give birth the day of. You practice it months in advance. I must have spent 4 months practicing hypnobirthing and blissborn hypnobirthing. I did it like it was the Olympics of childbirth for me, because it was. And I really wanted to make sure that I was doing everything I could to bring and imprint these souls, these high density souls, onto the planet in the most beautiful way, so that they could imprint with a calm demeanor and bring in their spiritual gifts and not have any of them blocked due to trauma that happens during childbirth. That is very important. Now let's move on to another page, the page 228, where we talk about some of the struggles. And the struggle is real. You know, we have to acknowledge it, and this book really shows you how to acknowledge it and how we're going to move through it. The biggest testament to spiritual growth is whether someone can walk away from their programming with a new sense of freedom, or whether they hand their power over to false saviors. As we navigate ascension, highs and lows, we are forced to go within to receive guidance. Many people have lost trust in themselves to be able to follow their heart. Now, as we move into the golden age, we are going from making a lot of decisions with the brain and moving into making decisions with the heart. The heart space is the connection between the upper and lower chakras, and that is where we're moving to. And it's a beautiful space, and that's one of the reasons why a lot of the dark players, as Sherri calls it in the book, and we all knew who that is. Most of us know, and we've done the research on that. Those players, they stop right at the lower chakra. They're unable to move into the heart chakra, because that's where the compassion and love and empathy exists, and they don't want to go there. So that is where the third density moves into the fourth density and into the fifth density. Fourth density is, basically where the heart chakra is able to expand and evolve. And that's where we are now, but we're not stopping there. We're moving into the fifth density. And we're bringing in souls that are of fifth density, sixth density, and seventh density. These are highly evolved spirits that are coming in. And on page 245, we talk a little bit about, she talks a little bit about that as well. She talks about the golden age. So this chapter is called the golden age, and I just wanted to read this to wrap up. People always ask me how I remain so confident that we are headed into the golden age. Admittedly, I have struggled along with everyone else to remain positive that everything is happening in divine timing. The one anchor that has kept me from drowning in negative thought has been my sessions with children. I have been told time and time again that there wouldn't be such a large increase in starseeds coming through at this time if we weren't on the path to ascension. Because most starseeds coming through are from a much higher density consciousness. They have to descend in order to incarnate with us. When I think about this logically, in order for so many ascended, enlightened souls to choose to come to Earth to assist in the Great Awakening, there must be a good reason for it. There has to be a master plan, a divine blueprint, or more to this timeline than we can see with our eyes. I believe this is by design, because it's more challenging to have faith in something you can't see. The children are showing us how to trust ourselves, because that is the first step to enlightenment. Going within to our deepest level of consciousness is where our true power lies. That is very powerful. So with regards to fertility, pregnancy, and childbirth, it's important to invest in a book like this, The Starseeds and the Great Awakening, because you're going to get a really deep understanding of what's happening with the types of souls that are coming onto this planet and how they're going to help us in the Great Awakening. Also helping the souls and the spirit babies coming into the planet navigate when they're here. And that's something that that I personally think is very important, and I focus more on the fertility and childbirth side of it, but you know, there's the parenting side as well, and that is huge. And we want to get pregnant so we can have a family. And once you have the family, then the parenting skills start. And that's not necessarily something that I focus on, but I want to encourage all of you that are starting a family to focus on it on a deep level, because there's so many beautiful souls coming in. And if you can be an advocate for them, if you can really understand where they're coming from when they come to planet side, and when you can show that to them, even before they come earthside, that you are ready to deeply recognize where they're coming from, and to, focus on the fact that they could be an empath, that they could be a starseed, that they could be, a rainbow child, all of these different indigo child, all of these different modalities of children that are coming in, or I don't want to categorize them, but not necessarily, but giving them a platform to be themselves when they come here, instead of immersing them in the indoctrination that is around. Showing them that you are going to be ready for what they have to offer. That is really, really important. When I look at my 3-year-old and my husband and I's 3-year-old and 5-year-old, and I look at how amazing they are and how wonderful their mind is and how sweet, gentle, loving, and kind they are, I know that is a part of every child on the planet. And somewhere along the lines, we have been corrupted. And it's time for us to stop that in its tracks and get back on track to what humanity is really supposed to look like. So this is an amazing book. Run, don't walk to get it. Well, it is online, so just, you're not really going to find it in the stores yet, but it's definitely going to be in the stores eventually, I'm sure. But for now, it's on Amazon.com, and I'll put a link in the description below. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being a part of my community. And I really appreciate all of the love, the comments, the support. And I continue to stay focused on being a beacon of light in this world of fertility, infertility, pregnancy, and childbirth, to really show what we're capable of, what our bodies are capable of, and to love our bodies as well. Many blessings to you. And again, you can find me on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Have a wonderful day. Lots of love.